It's all right. He'll do that if he sees you, so let me... You just get his tail in and run him up on shore quick.
If I could influence anyone, I don't want to be a content creator. I want to be like a content creator. I would just influence people to try to be happy and maybe unplug from a little bit of the bullshit that's happening right now. But I'm stoked. I'm always happy, even when I shouldn't be, because I know in the grand scheme of things, this doesn't really matter.
Right.
And I am just thankful for the little bit I have while I have it. I don't know. I want to be positive all the time. There's no point in being overly negative. It's hard right now.
Yeah.
It's a fucking hard time to be positive because you have to choose to do it.
This is Fishing for a Living, and this episode with Drew Wilson goes way beyond fishing.
So, Drew Wilson. Drooler.
Yeah, I'll do my intro.
Drooler, Drew Wilson.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't know how to pronounce it.
Everyone says Drew LR.
That's what I said for a while.
It was meant to be Drooler.
I heard you say Drooler earlier. I corrected myself immediately. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
On my boat.
Yeah.
And showing me your water. There's some great fishing here. And you showed me some super unique fishing today. Yeah. And it was cool as shit. But Drew...
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm happy to be here. Let me get in here on this.
Yeah, thank you for being... Oh, I wasn't giving you that.
I'm taking it.
Who are you, dude?
Yeah. Okay. My name is Drew. Drew Wilson. My internet's is all under Drooler. My little sister's name's Jewel. My name's Drew, and we used to fucking make my mom lose her mind fighting with each other, and she would get so frustrated. She'd call me Drool on accident all the time. So when I made social media originally, I had an Instagram under like Drew Wilson Tattoos, and I thought Instagram was lame, so I deleted it, and I made another one, and it wouldn't let me get the same name, so I had to do it under Drooler, and I did Drew LR because I'm from Little Rock.
Oh.
And it was like Drooler, spelled like that. Well, most people just call it Drew LR, in the rare occasion anyone talks about me anyway. But I do a lot of fishing art, fishing tattoos, more art these days because it's just gotten a little busier than I ever planned. And then I fish a lot, mostly fly fishing. And I live in Russellville, Arkansas, and I show people my local water a lot. Any of my clients who come from out of town to get tattooed, I usually ask them if they want to fish, if I have time. And it's normal for me to be fishing 5 days a week with clients and tattooing for, 2 or 3 appointments a week.
You are literally, so this podcast is called Fishing for a Living. I wouldn't say you're fishing for a living, but it sounds like you're fishing for a living.
Well, I draw fish for a living.
Yeah.
And I feel that it's important to be a part of what you're participating in. It's like when you see a corporate skateboarding company pop up, where like when Nike originally got into skateboarding, they were very shunned because corporate doesn't belong in skateboarding because they're not skateboarders.
Sure.
And so I always feel like you should be a part of what you're selling in order to be authentic.
Sure.
And of course I love fishing anyway, and that's my whole life, but I post a lot of it on the internet because I feel like I want those people to know that I'm about it. Like I used to go tattoo at the Denver fly shows. I quit in 2020 after COVID hit because I lost my steam on it. But people would come up the first year I was there and they would look through my tattoo portfolio and they'd be like, well, you do a lot of fishing tattoos, but do you actually fish? And so the next year I went back and it was like 3 pictures of tattoos, 1 picture of me holding a fish, every page. It's like, yes.
But you learned from that, yeah.
Yeah, this is all I ever think about. Like I'll literally be at home thinking about tonight while I'm falling asleep, thinking about how I could have done a better job today if I tried this.
I think you did an all right job.
I did all right. Yeah,
I'm sorry to tell you, but I think you did an all right job.
Yeah, they ate the fly.
Yeah.
But it's consumed a lot of me, and still, since I was a child, like little baby child, the only things I've ever given a shit about is like fishing and skateboarding and art. And I have not started doing anything new. I started fly fishing more in like 2011, but up until that point, I'd fly fished a little, but I'd always fished, I've always skateboarded, and I started tattooing, working in a shop when I was 19, and that was the newest thing I do. So 37 now, so it's 18 years of working in a tattoo shop, and it is the newest thing I do.
Tattooing is the newest thing you do, and we're sitting literally in your tattoo shop right now.
I try to be very dedicated to and be very true to myself. I'm not against learning new shit. Like, I always want to pick up, like, oh, I'd like to ride a mountain bike, or I'd like to do this, but ultimately I like...
Do you actually ride mountain bikes?
No, I don't have time for any of that stuff.
Do you ride bikes at all?
I have a fixed gear.
We're going to ride bikes the next time I come.
I can do tricks, but I don't do it ever because I'm just always fishing or drawing or skateboarding.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I have a really good life. I got good dogs.
Murph,
I'm happy.
Dude,
yeah.
I met Murph today. Murph is a girl.
Yeah, she's the best.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, everyone thinks that. Everyone thinks that all dogs are boys, all cats are girls.
Dude, I feel so bad. I basically claimed
she
Murph
doesn't mind
as a boy today.
Yeah, you're not going to get a lecture from Murph for misgendering her.
I am going to apologize when we get back and drop you off today.
Well, she don't mind. She's happy.
Right, good. Okay.
She's a happy little dog. And yeah, I feel like I'm living on easy street as far as I get to make art for a living. Most artists don't get to make a living from art. And so I feel very lucky for that. So thanks to you all. And then I try to just pay it back because the people who support me like are the fucking best. And so I spend all my time trying to put energy back into them.
But hold on. I want to go back to Easy Street.
Yeah.
You're on Easy Street.
Always.
But
yeah.
Life is not about Easy Street. There's no chance in effing hell that you just jumped onto Easy Street, made a left turn, and that happened, right?
I mean, no.
There's not a chance.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but I'm going to stop you there because now you're there.
Yeah.
But let's talk about how you got there.
Yeah.
We talked about some things today, like you didn't grow up privileged. You didn't grow up in a place where everything was silver spoon to you, right?
No, it was not. But, you know, no one, everybody's got a struggle.
We do.
Every asshole that's driving on this road right now, it's like there's cars passing us. We're in my shop. We got a second floor view of a busy road. And it's like, that guy probably got touched by his uncle. That guy's parents got divorced when he was 6. You know, everybody's had a hard time.
Sure.
So, like, I don't let any of that define me. I had very good parents who tried. And even if they didn't do even when they had their shortcomings, they at least had effort.
Sure.
And so that's what really mattered to me. I've got some sisters. I've got 2 sisters. They both have been shaped differently from our childhood than I have. But I'm stoked. I'm always happy, even when I shouldn't be, because I know in the grand scheme of things, this doesn't really matter.
Right.
And I am just thankful for the little bit I have while I have it, because not everyone's lucky enough. I mean, dude, I know so many people who are trying to get into art, trying to get into music, trying to do something that will never get lucky enough to succeed. It's nothing to do with talent, dude. There's people way more talented than me that don't get any of the spotlight of it. I just got lucky.
So
is aware.
What it's about? Is luck, you think?
I would say for internet success, because there's actual success on top of that, but like for internet success, for social media working for you, a lot of it's just luck. Being diligent. There's a saying in graffiti, there's no recognition without repetition. Doing the same thing long enough for people to find it.
Yep.
But ultimately, I've just been very lucky, and I have a support system of people who I don't even know who buy stuff from me, who are awesome.
That's your community. You would have
my community. Gas up your community.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing. And so the way I see it is, when these people feed me, I will do my best to feed them, and in turn, that has worked out for me very well. I don't take a lot. I take some, obviously.
Sure.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to afford this little room here. But I take enough, and then I try to feed my community. And then, in turn, it really helps me out. It's been a joy. Man, it's so stupid. It's like some fucking shit you'd see at like a Cracker Barrel. But there's this old thing where this guy dies and he goes to heaven, and then he goes to hell first, okay, and then he goes to heaven. And in heaven, it's a bunch of people sitting around a bowl and they've got 3-foot chopsticks and they're all fat. And in hell, it's a bunch of people sitting around a bowl and they've got 3-foot chopsticks and they're all starving because they can't feed themselves. But in heaven, they're feeding each other. It's a stupid thing, but it's community-based, where it's like if you're looking out for those around you, like instead of looking at why is the grass greener on the other side, I'm going to help my friend water his grass, and in turn, he's going to help me water mine, and we're going to help him. And so that is a thing that I put so much weight into now, particularly since moving to this small city that I live in, Russellville, Arkansas. It's investing in my community in a way that will, of course, benefit me. There's selfishness in everything I do. I don't ever want to portray myself as a selfless human, because everything that I do have a little intention for myself in it. But I want to gas up what's around me because they'll elevate me with them. And it's easier to lift other people up than to lift yourself.
100%.
I could seriously pick you up and put you on top of that way quicker than I can pull myself up there.
Right.
And so
physically,
yes, that's the mindset. Yeah. And once you're up there, you can tell me what it looks like from up there. That's how I think. And so I reached out to our mayor because our skate park sucks and it's very advanced in nature. There's not a single flat rail like that you can access from flat ground. The smallest rail is down a 4-stair. Ooh. So if you want to learn to do a board slide, you got to jump down stairs. If you want to learn to do a 50-50, you have to ollie out of a bank into a box or go on the box from flat into the bank.
Sketch. Yeah.
It's just very advanced in nature. And so I went to the mayor's office, I set up a meeting, and I went in and I was like telling him what I wanted. I was like, I don't want to complain that the grass is greener. I want to water my grass, so this is what I want. He was like, that's the magic word. And we've become friends. I like Mayor too. He's also a whiskey collector. And I like that about him too.
Okay.
Dude, his collection is cool. You go to the house, it's like 500 bottles. You can drink some Pappy. Ooh. Like, yeah, he's got, and he's not he doesn't drink a lot. He drinks when he has guests.
Nice.
He's just the coolest guy.
That sounds like a man of the people.
So, talking about him, since I'm campaigning for my mayor currently on your podcast, we had the eclipse happen last year.
Yep.
Or I guess it was this year.
Okay.
No, it was last April, so it's a year and a half ago. So total blackout viewing from Russellville, Arkansas. 5 minutes of eclipse from here. Like,
whoa.
#1 viewing place in the country.
No shit.
Here? Yeah, here. Dude, a couple 100,000 people came down here. I didn't.
What?
I wasn't coming downtown. But that night, we came downtown. We were like hanging out. We were driving around downtown, and we were walking. We walked over somewhere, walking back, and we saw our mayor. It's like 10:30 at night. He was on a golf cart emptying trash cans. And I was kind of like busting his chops because we're on a friendly level. And at that point, now we're better friends. But at that point, we're on a friendly level. And my love language is giving people a hard time. So I was like, you don't have someone to do that? He's like, well, we do, but he gets paid by the hour and I'm salaried. So he's already at home for the night. So I figured I'm getting paid. I might as well do this. And at that point on, I knew that I loved him.
Yeah.
I was like, he is as good as we can get. And him and then our grant writer, Kelly Dinkle, have been my partners for the last almost 3 years and working on the skate park project. And we're getting it built. We're breaking ground in less than 2 weeks.
So let's talk about what you're doing. What exactly is happening? Because it sounds like, first off, I understand skateboarding. I have skateboarded my whole life.
You got it in you.
I suck at skateboarding.
Me too.
I can still do a kickflip. Don't ask me to, but I can still do a kickflip. It sounds like the skate park that you have is for advanced riders.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah. So it's not easy, and we're in a place that's, I mean, are there a lot of skaters here, first off?
There's not.
Okay.
But here's why.
And I'm not putting that down. I think it's a good thing.
No, I'll get to it.
Yeah.
And it's tricky. So if you had never worked out before, let's say you're going to learn to lift weights. I take you to the gym, and I'm like, all right, let's start with a chest press. Here's 225 pounds.
It's not going to happen.
That's the NFL combine rep.
Right.
That's the shit that dudes who are professional athletes do 15 reps of. And it gets written down on the combine.
Right.
So if I take you there, I'm like, all right, here's 225. You're going to be like, I can't even move this. I hate lifting weights. I'm never lifting weights again. I'm never coming back to this gym. But if I'm like, yeah, well, let's build up to this. We're going to work on this for a year. Let's start at 30 pounds. And we're just going to do, 4 sets of 15. Like, you're going to get stronger. You're going to get more confident. And then eventually, you're going to see that 225 and you're going to think, I might have something for that.
Yeah.
I might have the ability. And that mindset is what I'm trying to apply to our skate park, where it's like, all right, everything we have is really advanced. We don't have, the smallest quarter pipe we have is 3 foot, but it's got a foot of vert. It is the fastest, quickest little sharp quarter pipe that if you watch someone drop in on it, you're like, they know how to skate very well, because it's very gnarly. And so I just want to build the bunny slopes.
Sure.
Now I'm also 37. I weigh like 215 right now. I'm trying to lose that, but I don't jump as good as I used to.
Sure.
And so there's selfish reasons in all of this. It's like, I would love a beginner-friendly park because I don't want to board slide down 8-stair. Yeah, the 4-stair is the smallest one. There's only 2 rails. The other one's gnarlier. So it's like, I want something that's like easier for me, but more than anything, I want something that's easier for people to fall in love with skateboarding.
Right.
And so luckily I have a good mayor. Not everyone has that. So when I went to him, he was receptive. But ultimately, feeding your community and you can't control a lot in your life. I can't control much of shit. I don't try to control my wife because she's her own woman. I don't really even try to control my dogs. I just want to exist with them and experience what they have while I can. But there's things that you can have influence on.
Right.
And there's healthy influence and there's unhealthy influence. And what I want healthy influence. And so my skateboard park is why I started my skate company. There are 2 reasons for starting a skateboard brand. One is that my buddy Todd is the best skateboarder I've ever known, and he's never gotten hooked up the way that he should. He is so talented, and he's one of the best humans. I think about him at least 2 hours a week, and we're not even very close anymore. But he's a lot of my heart is with Todd because he's so sweet, and I wanted to be able to hook Todd up. I want him to be in Thrasher magazine. I want him to do that, so I'm working towards that.
So Todd's your first pro?
He's the first person I'm going to turn pro. I have to get to a point where I can because I want to pay people. I don't want to do some like local team. I don't want to be a local brand. I want to be a national brand. And
that's the ambition of, let's go back a little bit because we haven't started yet necessarily. What is your skateboard brand?
Okay, Kingfisher Skateboards.
Okay.
It is very small right now. I want to essentially put some energy into skateboarding because it's what I come from. I've not done much new in my adult life. Like, I'm very true to my roots as a child. I talk to my wife about it pretty often because when you go into my home, there's 500 skateboards in my home right now.
500?
Yeah, like decks, and there's probably 400 sheets of grip tape, there's bearings, there's probably 500 sets of wheels. When I was 14, and if you would have told me that would exist one day, I wouldn't have believed you. That was my dream, you know? I do well enough with my online store with selling like shirts or I guess hats. I don't do shirts a lot. Hats, prints, stickers, stuff like that. You know, that does well enough that I can afford to do the skateboard brand from it. And I can lose money on the skateboard brand because it's just a product.
Sure.
It's not its own company. It's just products that are mostly used for promotion. And so as long as I'm still doing okay with the drooler thing, the skateboard thing will stay alive. It's very strategic. Took a lot of late night thinking and trying to figure it out. But it allows me to, for one, hook up my homie Todd because Todd's the best and he deserves it. But for 2, I live in a poor city. And our skateboard, like there's a lot of money in Russellville, but it really lies with like 5 families. And the rest of everyone's pretty broke. Kind of like the United States.
Yeah, I was going to say. It sounds
pretty similar. Yeah. A lot of people don't understand that not for Russellville because it's not like they're really holding a piece of the pie. This is a small city. And luckily, all the families here that have money give a shit about the city. They really care.
That's fantastic.
It's cool. I'm honored to live here now. But in the United States, when there's a pizza and there's 10 pieces of pizza and it's like, all right, we're going to share 1 and this guy's going to keep 9, that guy is the fucking problem. Now we'll move on from that.
So there's one guy I want to ask you about. Have you ever watched Andrew Callahan, Channel 5 on YouTube?
I know the name. Is he the guy who does the... Does he do he used to do the all gas, no brakes?
Exactly.
He's hilarious.
That guy, he is probably one of the most critical thinkers I've ever heard talk.
Yeah.
An independent journalist.
He's very quick too. He's like, he can take a curveball and know that
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a curveball the moment it leaves the plate.
I mean,
Like,
he interviewed the guy that was asking Charlie Kirk the question when Charlie Kirk got shot.
yeah, I haven't watched that. I should.
It is, again, emotional person with depression. I came to tears because this guy had empathy for Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's what I have. I don't know if that's what you would consider it.
I get it.
But he was able to bring something out of this guy that is not a Charlie Kirk fan, but he is an empathist towards Charlie Kirk and his situation.
He feels the human condition.
He feels the human condition. He has sympathy, maybe is a better word. And it's like this guy wants to show you what's real.
Yeah.
And media these days, I mean, you see it all over social media. If you are maybe in a similar frame of mind as I am, where they build these videos that show each media company that's owned by MSNBC or that repeat the exact same thing over and over again, no matter what city you're in. Like, there is a narrative these days.
Well,
It's fucking scary.
Ground News, if you haven't used it, is a great news source.
Yeah, it is great.
They sponsor
I do use
podcasts.
it.
So
Yeah, I do
Ground
use
News.
I do use it.
Yeah,
and I respect the
you do have
fuck
to
out of
pay,
it.
but it's like it's totally worth it because it shows a bias,
Yep.
and you should know your bias. It's such a tricky time. It's such a fucking tricky time. It's funny too because most of my interactions now are with fishermen. But like honestly, I spend so much energy in that skate park. I spend a lot of times with like 14 and 15-year-old kids.
That's awesome.
Who are just like completely unaffected by the world, and like one of them's dating a black girl, and his uncle's a racist, and he needs to talk about it, and I can give him actual advice.
Wow.
Because it's like,
That's super cool.
well, I'm also successful enough. I'm not like, I don't ever want to be a success story. I hope not to, because I still have, I also don't want to be one of those people who thinks that way, but I've succeeded enough in life to feel happy and to feel like I've done everything I wanted to do.
It's pretty important.
I'm privileged because not that many people in their life get to do everything they want to do. And at this point, I'm actually struggling mentally because my list is all my boxes are checked. It's fucked up.
Oh, shit.
I haven't caught Golden Dorado yet, but that's like,
I feel like we could check that off.
yeah,
right?
it's easy.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just spending some money and going somewhere.
Yeah, let's go for a second.
So it's like, do I want to spend this money that I don't really want to spend on some shit that I kind of want to do to check the last box I have on my list? I'm just saying that eventually, I'll stay here as long as my wife's here because she's my obligation. She's also the best thing in the world. And then as long as my mom's around, I'll be here. As soon as they're gone, I'm probably going to move to Spain or just leave the planet. I'm fine with it. I'm happy. I've done everything I ever wanted to do. I pursued a life in making art, and it worked. And there's shit I guess there's shit I wanted to do that I wasn't. But I'm too much of a realist to even have hope for. Like, I love to play music. A lot of people don't know that. I play a bunch of instruments, and
What instruments do you play?
I can play them.
All of them.
Yeah, I can play them.
Strings.
Yeah, I play all the instruments.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I love doing that stuff. I like writing songs. I started posting poetry last year on the internet. My #1 selling print right now is a poem that I wrote.
Wait a sec. Do we have another Instagram handle that?
No,
people
under
don't know
Drooler.
about?
Under Drooler.
No shit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay.
I'm gonna read one. Can I read one on your
I
show?
would fucking love that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. There's a little preface on this, like preference, because I want to explain it a bit. This is subsidized. Man, I'm tripping up. Songwriting, because I love playing music, and I've never put that out on the internet. I've never done anything like that. I see a lot of dudes who like build up a little bit of a following and they start fucking showing themselves noodling on guitars and shit. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But I've always written songs, and so I started writing and posting poetry stuff. That print over there being one of them, about the life cycle of salmon.
Oh, that's the same. Yeah. Nice. Okay.
Now, when you work in a tattoo shop, you have regulars. People show up, they get tattooed by you all the time, or in the shop, and they're like your homies. Like, oh, Jeff's gonna be here today. I've tattooed Jeff 30 times now. But then there comes a time where they quit getting tattooed. Every single time, every person, you can only get tattooed regularly for so long before you run out of like money or skin or the drive to do it. I tattooed a guy yesterday who was a shop regular 7 or 8 years ago. I started a back piece on him, and we're still working on it.
That's the one you told me about today.
I see him like once a year now. But I used to see him once a week. You know, I know his wife. I know their whole, I know so much about him. But I don't know him so much these days. And we had a regular named Joe Slade at Brainstorm Tattoo where I worked. He would get tattooed by my boss, Tim. But he was such a larger-than-life character, and he would come in, he was shredded, ripped, big old buff guy, like covered in good tattoos, beautiful man. Charismatic, worked as a liquor distributor, and he would stock beer places and sell beer to people, and he would get drunk and work out every night for like 3 hours. Drink his ass off.
This
drink
is
like
commitment.
I know.
Holy shit.
When I drink beers, I'm like, let me sit around or eat some salty food.
Yeah.
Joe would get drunk and work out. And he was larger than life. We had a Craigslist misconnection filed for Brainstorm Tattoo. Someone made one for Joe Slade because he was getting his ribs tattooed. He walked out front. It was on a busy road like this, and he had his shirt off. And some woman called the shop and was like, you need to tell that guy to put a shirt on before he causes a car accident. So Joe, that was 10 years ago that Joe was a regular. We saw him 3 days a week for at least probably a year and a half.
Holy shit.
I would ask him fitness advice. Like he was wild. He was a wild guy, but he was a joy. And this past December, Joe shot himself. So I get a message from his sister-in-law, Brittany Slade, and she tells me Joe killed himself. We're having a funeral. In my mind, I remember tattooing Brittany. I did a rose on her shoulder, and it was nice of her to reach out to me.
Yeah.
So I went to the funeral. They live in in Iowa, and they came down to have their funeral by their cabin here because Joe loved it here. And I went to it. I showed up. Brittany's got damn near 2 sleeves from me. I forgot. You have these people who are regular, and then you don't see them anymore, and sometimes you just forget. I forgot how much I know this family. And they scattered his ashes in the river. Joe didn't fish. He just loved being out on this cabin. And his brother and his best friend, they went out and they scattered his ashes in the river, and everyone cheered for him as he floated downstream. And it made me cry. And I hadn't thought of Joe in years. He reached out to me maybe 4 years ago. I haven't talked to him. He was a regular. I used to see him all the time. I forgot how close I was to this family. And I know, it's not my place to be hurting from this because they deserve it. And I'm a nobody to them. I had an impact when they were in town, but I just forgot how well I knew them then. And all that came back, the actual facts of it, where it's like, oh man, I spent so much time with these people. And I wrote something on the drive home where I literally had to pull over and write it down. And I'm really a shallow face level person, and I like the idea of the burn after reading mindset. And I wanted to write a read after burning because Joe was cremated. And this isn't inspired by Joe. This is directions from my wife. But I wrote this in turn, and I'll read it here on your podcast because it'll be the first time I've ever done this. For my sweet bean, whenever I'm gone. When I am gone and you have burned my body, cheer for me. Fill your hands with my ashes, throw me wildly into the air. Scatter me across this river that I have loved so dearly. I will become the water that carved these great mountains. I will travel through lakes and rivers, and I will become the sea, welcomed by the great abundance. The earth will drink me up. I will rise to the sky and return to you as summer rain. Cheer for me then, and welcome me home. I've been doing this more. This is what has made me feel full, because I don't want to drown these people out with bullshit on the internet. I want to be lighthearted, but I still want to be a full circle human. And so I was scared to post that on the internet. So I drew some fish with it.
Yeah.
Because I can make a fart joke. People think it's funny. I can make a fish with tits and people think it's funny. Telling someone what's in your soul is scary. And what if you're rejected? What if it sucks? I have friends who are successful musicians who put themselves out there blatantly and have succeeded wildly. But I myself, that's not for me. I just want to do my little thing. But recently, just this past couple years, I've started to put poems on the internet. And the reply to it has been dumbfounding. That is my #1 selling art print. And I have people message me weekly about it. I had a girl in Florida message me and be like, I really want to give this to my boyfriend. He's never caught a trout in his life. Do you have any like expectations of doing a redfish? And I was like, usually I don't take requests, but for you,
That's
for
badass.
this. So I drew a redfish and made a print of that and sent it to her. Because we're afraid to talk about stuff like that. Not necessarily, I mean, there's a level of embarrassment where they're like, this dude has feelings, right. or whatever,
Yeah.
But I ultimately, you're talking about being an emotional person.
Yeah.
I've made it a very long time being pretty detached, but I love my wife and I have a lot of dedication to her and I want her to know that when I'm gone. I don't plan on leaving soon. And I may not even have a say in that. I might die of cancer. I might die in a car accident. I might get shot by a police officer.
Sure, 30-30-10.
I might get shot by the military whenever they come to clear out the space
right.
of Russellville, the enemy within. But I feel like my lady, I just missed a call from her. I feel like whenever I'm gone, I want her to know that she was who I was thinking about when I left, because that's who I worry about all the time. And so I started writing a lot more. Sadly, I think about death all the time. It's stupid because I fish nonstop and I draw stupid fishing stuff. You wouldn't expect a guy who main focus in life is drawing boobs on a fish and doing kickflips to be thinking about death all the
Dicks
time.
on ducks.
Yeah, dicks on ducks. I
hate to tell you, but I showed my kid that last night and he
thought it was funny.
Fucking died laughing.
Good.
He also loved the panfish one that you did where he's bouncing back and forth with the audio, the carousel of photos. That kid, he actually cried.
Awesome.
Because he was laughing so hard.
I'm gonna do a penis on a bluegill this week, and it's gonna be big, dude. I'm gonna have the bluegill this big. I'm gonna have the dick like this big, dick and balls, and I want it to be like, I don't know the words yet, but I want it to be something along the lines of like, so the bluegill was the first thing you noticed there? Because they're named for one feature that they have. Brown trout are called brown trout. Rainbow trout are called rainbow. You know, it's like you got all these fish where people literally they took a glance at them and they're like, I'm not looking. But they take a glance at them and they're like, all right, this is going to be a brown trout because it's brown. Cutthroat trout, they lucked out. Brook trout, they lucked out. They didn't just look at the color of them and be like, that's the name of this fish. Striped bass. Yeah. You know, like there's so many fish that are like,
two on the nose, yeah.
It's so on the nose.
Yeah.
Large mouth, small mouth. They pick a defining feature. So I like the funny idea of having a bluegill with just a massive cock and balls. Being like, really? Like my bluegill? I couldn't be big cock and balls. I got to be bluegill. Yeah, but I got to figure out the wording to make it perfect. Yeah, on my Instagram, I want there to be joy in the world. I want people to laugh. I want to be a little bright spot in their day.
Same.
When they're scrolling through the internet, seeing bullshit. And like, man, the culture of social media is so wild right now. And the way that we consume social media is so wild. The way I have to target art to be successful, it's no longer about whether you like it. It's not about whether you'll buy it. It's about, will he share it?
Right.
And that's how I have to think as someone who's trying to make a living from art, which is hectic. But it's because we're constantly consuming so much crazy shit. It's like, I'll go to take a shit and I pull out my phone and I just want to look at pictures of cats and what you ate for lunch, you know, and to see what my boys are doing. And I'm like, oh, here's an ice raid. Oh, here's children that are burning in Gaza. And then here's a meme of, you know, Edward 40 Hands. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, we are so desensitized that watching that kid get shot in the neck, I watched the video probably 50 times trying to see just my thoughts on it. Like, that's supposed to be a 30-06. Does that look like a 30-06? You cannot watch a man get his jugular blown out and feel normal.
No.
You shouldn't be able to.
We also shouldn't be able to see that. I think anyone can agree, and there's no
shouldn't.
There's no bias here on whether or not
a
10-year-old with a fucking social media account should be able to open their phone and see something like that.
Absolutely.
It's disgusting.
But like
fucking pisses me off.
my wife, dude, if my wife has a burn on her arm or a paper cut, I can't even look at it because it hurts me. And I can go on the internet and watch some guy get shot in the fucking
problem.
neck
Yeah.
and be curious about the situation because we are so desensitized to what we see on our phone. Our cup is big and our cup used to be really small. And so, I mean, it's like putting a shot in one of these. Looks like a shot in a shot glass, and one of these, it just looks like a little bit of booze.
But I hate that media has always been the same way, though.
Yeah,
Media
it's just
has never
polarized.
changed, at least from a figurative perspective. Every headline is what you would call a hook. Like, this is my experience from being in the media industry for 12 years and knowing the background of it.
They got to get you.
Yeah, there's a trigger. There's always been a trigger.
Yeah.
And now, because our attention spans are maximum 3 seconds long, if we don't actually get interest, you got to fucking polarize someone immediately. And just like you're saying with art, like, you're trying to do good by people. You're trying to make people feel happy.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
You're trying
what
to
my goal
spread a
is.
positive message, but you have to go so far as to understand, like, not only will I make people feel good, but I also have to make them share something, because we now know that the social
That beer's going to get hot.
the social algorithm
In the sun.
forces us to share, save. Comments don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
The algorithm changes all the time. Comments, likes.
You just got to feed the beast.
Yep.
That's how it is. I'm so thankful that I have people who support me and that I get to make a living making art. And there are some people out there that my words really matter to. But I do have an understanding that more than half the people that follow me on the internet don't know anything about me. They saw something funny I made and they thought they'd follow. I lose 50 followers a day. I get 80 a day.
Really?
Every single day. And it's like my account grows slowly because I lose 50 people a day. I get 80 a day. But it's like there's people who've supported me from the very beginning. I know all their fucking names. I pack every single order by hand. Everyone who comes and gets tattooed by me, I spend time with them here. I treat them like they're my best friend because they are.
Yeah.
There's never a moment that I'm putting on a show for anyone because I'm so thankful that anyone gives a fuck about what I'm doing. But I totally understand that there are people who are going to come in and leave, and there's people who are here for the long haul. And I don't want to heckle them. I don't want to tell them what to think. I want to lead by example. And when they come here and get tattooed by me, they'll know exactly how I feel about the world. Because I'll fucking bitch and moan about it. But at that point, they're my friend.
Right.
And afterwards, I'm going to take them fishing. We're going to have beers or have dinner or something like that. And I will treat them like they're my best friend. And they will leave. I'll have people show up as strangers, and they're people who are like my homies now, who like I love, who I want to check in on. Gail Draves. Gail Draves will undoubtedly listen to this. This is not my first podcast to shout him out on either. Gail, he came to me and got tattooed in Alabama. I was working in Daphne, Alabama at Belrose Tattoo. He set up an appointment. He's from Wisconsin. He was in Florida with his wife for some family stuff and drove over and got tattooed. I invited him to come here because we were moving here. I was like, you ever want to come to Arkansas? Let me know. You stay with me. I'll take you fishing. Comes here. Father of 3. He's got 2 kids who have autism.
Wow.
I believe. So sorry, Gail, if I'm fucking this up. I'm a little rusty. But father of 3, raises these kids, works as like a manager at a grocery store. Very like salt of the earth, good, pure human. We need more people like Gail. His week for like his week that makes him like excited is coming here because like he gets to. I'll literally pick him up at the airport and be like, let's get some beers, and then we'll go catch fish. He always catches the shit out of fish. He's like learning to fly fish, so he's not even like a super good angler.
Sure.
He just is willing to listen and he loves it. And him loving it is like a driving force. And dudes like Gail Draves are the people who make me want to do my job and continue doing what I'm doing because my week with him is more special to me than his week with me. It's crazy.
That's
like,
beautiful. Dude.
Yeah, dude, I love that dude. I've only hung out with him. I've tattooed him 3 times now. Once in Alabama, twice here. I don't message him to check in on him. I'm not good at that stuff. he'll message me when he catches fish doing a technique that I taught him and stuff. And I love seeing him grow as an angler. But I have about 150 to 200 people who are good like that have been provided to me from social media. And I'm just trying to cater to those people. And I really don't care about bending over backwards for the rest of it. It's like you find your fanatics, you treat them like they're made of gold, treat them like they're your best friend. They will be your best friend. And that's a mindset that I'm really leaning into in these times that are so wild.
So Drew, we caught a fish today, or how many? 3? Fish or 3?
I caught a few. I caught a couple when you walked off too.
Oh, of course you did.
I did.
Right before I snapped
broke a rod.
Yeah, that was exciting.
We went gar fishing.
Yeah.
And gar fishing on a fly rod is something that a lot of people, it's an odd thing because gar, particularly for a bass fisherman like yourself, it's like a fish
Hey. Hold on.
You're getting universal.
Hold on.
You're getting
I
that one.
am rod agnostic.
Okay,
That is my
okay.
word.
Well, you're fishing a bass tournament tomorrow. That's what
true.
I mean.
This is true. Yeah.
So it gets this stigma as a trash fish, but they are older than any of us. They're older than bass. They've been here before any of us. They're dinosaurs. They eat aggressively. They jump high.
Yep.
They pull hard. They have big teeth.
And they get big as
And they get big as shit. So why would they not be a awesome targeted species?
Targetable game fish, yeah.
And once you learn how to do it, because it is tricky. There's a bunch of techniques. I only have one that I like to do because there's a bunch that I don't think are ethical. Like the rope flies, I'm not down with it.
And why are you not down with rope flies? Because I think a lot of people do it, don't understand it. And when I got in the truck and you said we are about to go basically nymphing for them.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think that's possible.
Okay.
You also told me where we were going to fish, and I was like, no, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
So why rope
dialed.
flies? Yeah. Why rope flies? Why are rope flies bad
Okay.
first, and then?
For one, the way a rope fly works is it gets tangled in the gar's teeth. So I'll take nylon rope, fold it over an eyelet, muddle it up with like a cat brush, and then put UV through it to harden it up and make tangles and muddle it again.
Okay.
And that gets stuck in a gar's teeth. So when the fish eats, you set the hook and then let pressure off so that they have to chew on it to get it out of their mouth, and you set it again. So it's like trying to tangle it, and then once you have them, you can put slow pressure on them and fight them.
So they'll basically not come off.
You don't need a hook.
It's almost
you don't even need a
right.
hook. They close their mouth on it, it gets stuck. Problem is, well, there's 2 things. For one, when you unhook them, you have to pry their mouth open from the back with pliers, and these other pliers to pull each individual thread out of their teeth. And there's thousands of threads in their teeth. You break their teeth. Now their teeth are supposed to be regenerative. So like gar is supposed to be able to break their teeth and
Like
grow
a
them
shark,
back.
basically,
From what
yeah.
I've read.
Okay.
I don't know that factually. I've never witnessed it. But from what I understand, they grow their teeth back. So that's not the worst part. The problem is if you break one off or get cut off. The way you hooked that fish and it went into that wire.
Yep.
If you were using a rope fly and that
Got
fish
it.
went under that cord and broke your line, you sewed that fish's mouth shut and you're not going to unsew it.
He's done. Yeah.
So he's going to die.
Yep.
And he's not just going to die, he's going to starve to death over a period of 2 months.
Right.
Because of you.
Long, slow death.
A long,
Terrible.
slow death. And to do that to a fish that you're chasing in a sporting manner, if I'm going to kill a fish because it's a nuisance, which I don't believe in, but like snakeheads, for example, have moved into Arkansas and they're in the Little Red River and they're killing them and the Game and Fish has a bounty on them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think it's like we're the reason they're here. It's our fucking fault. It's not their fault. The idea of killing them just to murder them because they're problematic is a thing that I'm not down with. Well, people do that with gar. People catch gar and throw them on the shore. They shoot them, they throw them on the shore. They've been here longer than humans have existed. And it's not my place to give them a hard time. It's my place to treat them with respect.
Sure.
So sometimes I'll hook them and jump them and they'll get off, or sometimes I might drop them in the boat, or they're strong as shit. They're hard to hold. But I have a lot of respect for them and I like chasing them on a fly rod. So I always use a small wire point, like jig hook, where I can hook them in the top of the mouth. It has a chance to punch through their bone and it's not going to do a crazy amount of damage, and I can unhook them and let them go safely.
Yep.
Today we caught a few gar. I think I netted 2 at the first spot and yours that you landed,
Yep.
and then broke a rod. That bass fisherman, you say you're not a bass fisherman. I watched you set
dude.
the hook on a gar where you're like,
I swung on
snap your rudder right in half.
Yeah.
But then we got a big one. I'm always the guy who undershoots the size of fish. I'll look at a 20-inch trout and say it's gotta be 17.
You also said that bass was like 2.
I think it was.
I would have guessed, as a bass fisherman
Yeah.
that catches basically only bass right now,
maybe 2.5.
I would have given him 2.5.
Yeah, maximum 2.5.
But it was a beautiful fish. That was the first fish
Yeah.
we caught when we walked up to that spot.
But I always aim below, and
Yeah.
so we caught a big long nose. We caught like a 50+ incher, and at first I was like, it's probably under 50, maybe 48. And then after getting in, I held it up to my rod, and my rod's 9 foot, and it went 4 inches past the center ferrule, which like at least 4.5, close to 5 foot long. So it's at least probably a 60-inch, or probably about a 54 to 58-inch fish, which was cool to catch. We got a stud, and it was on LiveScope, which it's like a treat for me. It's like doing something you shouldn't do, but it's fun. I don't knock it.
I do want to talk about that for a second,
Yeah.
because that was, I enjoy LiveScope, but I've had it for 2 years now, and I have had to figure out when to and when to not use it.
Watching you use it is different too, because I learned it from someone else, and the way you do it's different.
It's very interesting to learn it in different ways. Like, everyone uses it for a different reason. Some people go out in the middle of nowhere, you'll see in bass tournaments, and they're just targeting individual fish.
Yeah.
For me, I use it as a information tool. And I think a lot of people use that as like it's the defense mechanism that a lot of people say, oh, I just use it for information. And believe me or not, but that is how I find brush piles, how I know if there's a fish on a dock, or if I know like there's a sloping point with fish on it.
I'm gonna roast you a little bit. I feel like it's like a guy watching pornography, and he's like, I just like the information.
One of my favorite sayings of all time is, I don't like cocaine, I just like the way it smells.
Yeah, Richard Pryor said that.
It is literally one of my favorite sayings. But I swear to you, I love fishing from a bank. I'm 30-something years old now. I grew up in Florida, fishing farm ponds, all of that stuff. But, moral of the story, I'm targeting 2 to 5 pound fish. I've caught a couple other bigger bass on that LiveScope specific, and some stripers. But I have never seen a fish that I've targeted on LiveScope that large.
Yeah.
We dumbed it down to like 60 foot out and 20 foot down. And I'm talking that fish, we said it's probably 50+ inches.
Yeah, it was over 50 for sure. And
it took up like a 1/10 of the freaking screen.
Yeah, I mean, 4 foot is what, 48 inches? So guaranteed 4.5 foot, which would have been 54 inches plus 4, it's probably 58-inch fish.
Yeah.
From
was
holding the rod up
huge.
to, I'd say 58 inches, almost 60. Pretty neat to see. Fought hard. Originally in my brain, I was like, oh, this is 20 pounds. And then looking at the pictures, probably 15 to 18 pound gar. But just a special fish. And those are so cool. That fish hasn't evolved in, thousands and thousands of years.
And you
It's
even
perfect.
opened my eyes too, because I think of gar oftentimes as a nuisance, just like you said.
Yep.
Because I told you about a story of where I fish now, Beaver Lake, and I do use LiveScope to target shad balls and find spotted bass, largemouth in them, and a lot of times we find gar in them.
Yeah.
And I'll cast out there and I'm thinking, gosh, this has got to be 6 pound largemouth.
Yeah,
It is a gar.
it's hard when you're targeting something and you're mistaking them through that, because it is LiveScopes like that.
But the whole point, like, you opened my eyes to how let's use quotation marks here, a trash fish
Yeah.
can be thought of as, not even thought of, targeted as a actual game fish.
Well, I would
fun as
fish
shit.
for a 6 foot gar over a 6 pound largemouth any day, because the gar walk on the water like they tail walk.
That was
And,
badass, yeah.
You saw
We
that
saw
little
it.
one
Yeah,
earlier
that was
where we
cool.
hooked it and we're at eye level with it and it's jumping everywhere.
Yep.
When you hook a mega, like you hook like a 40 pounder and it runs and it puts you in your back and you've got your drag on it, comes up and does the tail walk across the water, it's like tarpon fishing. It is the closest thing I have
That's
to something
sick.
like that. And I'm thankful for it. I love it. It's not for everyone. I'm thankful too because we didn't see anyone else really on the water. There's an old man setting jugs up a few miles up, but using the same boat ramp as us. But like that river, I have it to myself. And I won't ever have competition there.
Right.
I could tell people, like, I fished the Arkansas River for gar. This river runs from the border of Arkansas and you know, the Mississippi where the confluence is, to Colorado.
And that's to Oklahoma, basically, right? Or into Oklahoma?
Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee, down near
east.
Mississippi.
Okay.
Yeah, where it feeds in.
Right.
But it's
oh, wow.
yeah. So the Mississippi carves. It's like a dividing line for the
Holy
state.
shit! So this river is
It's huge.
hundreds and hundreds.
There's
and hundreds.
there's likely bull sharks in it. So I mean,
because we're technically connected to Mississippi. Yeah.
There could be bull sharks in it. There's so much. I've heard of people catching bull sharks in it. I've never seen it. I've just heard like it's like
I'm gonna come back down. Maybe
it's like a myth, you know, where it's like, oh, they caught a bull shark at Weber Falls Dam in Oklahoma or whatever. I heard that maybe 8 years ago, but it would be in the news if someone caught a bull shark.
Sure.
Now, I have caught some wild fish and wild critters in my life that I have not called the news over. I've just let them go. So I tell myself that it's like, I want to believe there's bull sharks.
Yeah.
You know, because it does feed into the Mississippi, which feeds into the Gulf. It's not too far. There's some lock and dams between here and there. But there's 200-pound fish in my city that I live in. I want to take advantage of it. And fly fishing in Arkansas, everyone thinks of the White River, the Norfolk River, the Little Red River. They don't really think of fishing the Arkansas River for giant
Not with
gar.
a fly rod, no.
But it's
Not a
doable.
chance. Yeah.
It's doable. And it's really cool. It's so cool.
I had a damn good time today. It was super interesting to see how you look at it because we went to a spot where there's this like, to me, I would have called it, as an outsider's perspective, sewage coming out of a pipe.
Yeah, pickle pipe.
Pickle pipe. And I could point the LiveScope over there. I could see there were some big ass fish. We did not connect with
Yeah,
them.
they didn't want to act right there.
But we fished another area, unnamed. This was probably the most interesting type of fishing that I have ever done. It's the closest thing to dabbing or
dapping and it's like fishing an above ground pool, that place.
But they're actually biting it. There's no like flossing involved.
No.
We're not fucking
And it
snagging
wasn't even a
fish.
good day out there, and we still had some cool moments. If you would see it on a good day, like, I honestly, like, surprised that people who have come here to get tattooed and fish with me haven't moved here yet. Because if you're a fisherman and you love fishing, if I take you to this place in the spring, it's the best. It's the absolute best. It's
I mean, just seeing it today, I was like, wait, what is this?
Lights out different in the spring. It's so different. And it's special. It's neat. I love anything that's abnormal in fly fishing because I grew up a skateboarder where the way that you skated was your style.
Sure.
How you look on a board, how you move, the decisions and as far as what tricks you pursue, the way you read a park, you have your style. And I never leaned in the direction of traditional skateboarding. So while I've not been too wild with it, I haven't done like a bunch of circus tricks. I've just always approached it a little differently. And I think fly fishing is kind of the same for me, where it's like I did learn how to dry fly fish. I've caught a 20-pound brown. You know, like I've done that.
You can't catch a bigger one.
Yeah, I've got 6 30-inch fish in Arkansas, and I'm thankful. I'm fucking thankful, and I can't even praise my technique for it because half the time I was just out there so much that it just happened.
Sure.
So I was always there. But now it's like you have to walk before you run, and you got to run before you do cartwheels. And now I just want to do somersaults. Like, I could have done that in the beginning, but like now I feel like I've done it all, and I have a big enough bag of tricks that's like I just want to go learn these weird fish in these weird places. LiveScope is something that I don't ever have access to. So I would have gone to that spot and I would have kept my fly in the water, just held it 8 foot deep while I was watching for fish to gulp air. So being able to see it on LiveScope and be like, okay, he's right here, and feed it to him, that's a huge advantage. I don't knock that. We're talking about it. I think it's like hunting with thermal.
Don't compare it to that, dude.
It is.
It's not.
It is like hunting
It's
with
not.
thermal. What's the difference?
Dude, thermal.
What's the difference?
Okay. So thermal, we're talking about literally something that has no decision. I have a gun.
Okay.
And I have a thermal sight.
Yeah.
That literally says, let me back up. I need to shoot you right in the sea. I'm going to shoot you in the sea. Today, we watched, how many gar did we watch? Or how many fish did we watch not bite?
So in hunting and fishing comparison, hunting is always something that has no decision.
Exactly what I mean. That's what I mean.
So comparing the two, I understand it's apples to oranges. But,
that's what I mean.
But hunting and fishing are
you
grouped
are
together.
Correct. You are correct in that perspective.
Hunting with thermal and fishing with LiveScope are still the same thing.
It is a comparison when you talk about the targeting aspect.
Yeah.
But when it talks about the actual killing, obviously we're not killing the gar. Obviously the gar had an option to choose.
But you still have such a huge advantage
100%
to knowing something is there.
I will never deny that.
Yeah,
part.
that doesn't
never.
So that's what I say. It's like hunting with thermal. Now, hunting pigs with thermal is ethical. Hunting deer with thermal is unethical.
From a helicopter.
From
with
well, I mean,
AR-15s?
but no, at night. Pigs are nocturnal mostly. So like most people hunt them at night, and so they use thermal. And it's like I think of it as that. Where it's like, yeah, the pig does have a decision because he doesn't have to come over there.
Right.
But it is different because you still have to get a fish to eat. But it makes me think of that where it's like, I always feel when I'm doing it, I'm like, okay, this is an advantage that I usually don't have. But because I don't own a LiveScope, instead of being like, thinking of it like, is this ethical? Is this? I'm like, shit, I don't have one of these. I'm going to take advantage of it.
At the end of the day, I'll give everyone this is the first time I'll talk about LiveScope on this podcast. I'm not going to defend LiveScope. I'm going to defend my opinion about it.
Yeah.
But I grew up bank fishing. I grew up on a boat where we would drive 40 miles one way to go catch fish in the Everglades. Like, no, we didn't have a fucking LiveScope. Of course not.
Dude.
But I'm telling you now that I have seen 100,000 times more fish that will refuse my bait over bite it now.
I've learned a lot in a little bit that I've used it. When I went with my buddy Asher, I learned that crappie are like 90% more likely to eat it if it's above their head rather than below
100%.
their head.
And same with bass.
Yeah,
Bass
I
are the same
learned
way.
so much because you don't get to survey fish underwater that way. But I still am fully aware of the fact that it's like, it is a knife to it's a gun to a knife fight.
There will never be a time where I'll say it's not an advantage.
And I don't knock it because I fucking enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I did it all the time, it would warp my perception of what fishing was. Where it's like people who watch a bunch of weird porn and they can't have normal sex anymore. I feel like that's what it would be like. Where it'd be like,
Don't fucking put me in that
cup's so
category.
big, I can't be into this unless I has this very specific niche. It's fun.
I've watched some weird porn, but it's not like that.
But you also did get out of your boat today.
Yeah.
You got in some water on some weird, gross water, and you walked across and you sight fished a gar with a fly rod, and you enjoyed it. So I know that your cup is still manageable.
Different. Yeah, I'm a little different.
Yeah, but what I mean is like when I see people who become like meat harvesters.
Oh,
They're no longer fishermen. They're just there to win tournaments, or they're just there to catch the crappie to go eat them.
Yep.
And that's where LiveScope becomes a tool for them. And it's like, I feel like it's one of those things, it's like great in moderation.
Yeah.
Like if I drink a few beers or whatever, it's like, oh, cool, that's great. But if I drink 30 beers, y'all would be like, he might have a little bit of a problem.
But that's literally what I told you that I had to learn first with LiveScope is that moderation and using it for the right reasons is how you have to use it. Because you could get fixated on one fish or one ball of shad for fucking hours.
Hours.
And just lose your entire day, and it turns into this bullshit day of literally not catching fish if they're not going to bite.
Well, I love doing it.
It was fun.
Yeah,
but
I have so much fun doing it.
I want to hear your perspective on something you said earlier while we were in the truck. You don't want to tell people how to fish. We're talking about LiveScope right now. And I want to know your understanding of that. And I didn't prod you on that statement because I wanted to talk about it a little deeper. Like, what do you think fishing is?
Well, for me,
Yeah.
it's just for me. It's
Okay.
like every time I've ever done a how-to video, I
Yeah.
always preface like, this isn't really a how-to, this is how I.
Sure.
Because there's people who rocket their kick flips, there's people who kick flip them over. You know, there's so many different, there's more than one ways to skin a cat. That's
Sure.
the saying.
Yep.
And what I want from it and what you want from it may not always align. And then the guy up the road, I watched a video the other day of some kid getting yelled at for motoring through a no motor zone, and he's like, "Well, I catch bigger fish than you." It's like, fuck you, kid. Like, what? Yeah, it was weird. But I think about that, and it's like, there's so many different types of people.
Yeah.
You know, we think of like humans as we get separated by race, and we get separated by our sexual preference, or sexual identity, gender identity, all that. Really what it is we're like dog species. So there's a white dude out there who's a Labrador, and there's a white dude out there who's a pug, as far as their mentality goes. And like, there's dogs that bite, there's dogs that like to run, there's dogs that like to be on the couch. And that's really where I'm seeing us more, is how to like feed our inner animal. And so I feel like fishing to me as my inner animal is different than it is for other people. It used to be that I needed to prove it to myself that I can do it. And I still get nervous when I go on fishing trips. When
It sounded like you were a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
When we weren't catching, and I understood where you were at. Like, I had empathy for you because you talked up this place.
And you want to share it.
Of course.
So now what I want to do is I want to share it. But I think about like, when I go on fishing trips, like I'll go do a fishing trip to, let's say I'm going to Honduras or something. I will be nervous for a month before, from the moment I buy my plane ticket, about what if I'm not good enough for these fish.
Sure.
It's not about the weather. It's not about the wind. It's about what if I'm not good enough. And then I get there and it's the weather and the wind. But I was okay. But what I worry about is my lack. I know how to do all this shit here, so now it's not about what if I'm not good enough. It's like weather, wind, conditions, and making sure you enjoy it. Because you're my guest here. Even if we're on your boat or doing whatever, I want to share with people what I love. And if you, like, you did get to see it. You got to see it shine a little bit.
It was cool.
If you could see it really shine, where you go out there and it's like, oh man, this dude just caught an 80-pound big head carp. Didn't see that coming. Or like, oh, he hooked a spoonbill, didn't see that coming. Or now we're catching striper or whatever. You just never know. And that stuff is so cool. And so my fear of rejection doesn't exist here as much as it does when I'm traveling with fish.
Gotcha.
But I now, fishing to me in Arkansas is about, for one, half the time it's for information. Like, okay, I got a guest coming on Thursday. I'm going to go out on Tuesday and make sure the water flows are right, make sure there's fish in these spots. If I catch a few, I won't beat them up, so I can go back on Thursday or whatever.
It's like practicing for a tournament almost.
Exactly. But more than anything, I just want to share it because I will not catch a bigger trout than I've caught. There's a few fish I can max out on. I've never broke 10 pounds on a largemouth. I've got like a 9.9. I've never broke 10. So it's like there's goals like that I have, but I'm not overly worried about it because I'd rather just take people fishing and make sure they have fun.
Share there, yeah.
I want to get people excited about it, and ultimately, like, there is no point. I don't think there's any point in being alive other than enjoying your time here.
Sure.
You know, I don't believe personally in an afterlife or any of that, and I don't push that on anyone, but I think that, like, my experience with you is more important than anything else to me because I don't believe there's anything after this. You got to treat people like they're fucking dying because they're dying, and you have this limited time with them. And so it's like, I want to make sure that we share a genuine time fishing and having fun. I want you to see what I love. I want you to understand why I love it. And that way, when I come fishing with you on your home water and you show me what you love, I can have a full, like, receiving soul of it. So I can pay attention and learn how to catch fucking 10-pound bass because I still have it. But I think about that. That's what fishing is to me. It's like, it's a general unplug from everything that's happening in the world. It's a plug in and a view into a world that we're not a part of also.
And we talked a lot about where the world is right now, and it's very violent. It's very noisy. Would you call fishing your meditation? Because for
No.
me, I call it meditation.
I would not.
What do you call fishing for you?
I wouldn't call it my meditation.
Do you get pissed when you're out there?
Sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah, sometimes I get angry.
You're a realist, yeah.
Well, the reason is it's like, you ever watched a television show that has bad character development?
Yeah, I pointed out
There's
a lot.
There's an AMC show called Hell on Wheels. It's a country show.
Okay.
Or like a old Western
Yeah.
about the, a railroad being built or whatever. And in that show, sometimes in order to further the character development of one person, they'll have another character that's been very stable act unstable for no reason. It's poor writing.
And it's obvious, yeah.
And I feel that with fishing sometimes, where I'm like, all right, I've had a lot of character development about this fish. I know a lot about them. I know how they act. I know where they're going to be. Like, we literally motored 4 miles down a river, pulled into one spot, and was like, all right, this is where they're going to be. There they are.
There.
You know, and it's like, you learn about them, you learn their behavior, you learn how you can move in front of them. I always compare fishing to like the art of seduction as far as like being a ladies' man, which I've never really been, so I'm probably like comparing pretty poorly. But you meet a woman at a bar, for example, and you have to learn how to talk to her.
Sure.
You want to show her who you are, but you also have to do it in a way, because dude, we're all fucking terrible.
Yeah.
We're all gross, we all fart, we all get diarrhea. Like, you can't just walk up to a woman and be like, hey, I had diarrhea today. You have to ease into it. I wooed my wife, who is like the best woman in the world, and I wooed her with a presentation. It was how I presented myself. And so,
not like a PowerPoint slide?
No,
okay,
yeah. Here's
okay.
a presentation.
Yeah, I figured.
No, it's how you present yourself. It's the
Yeah,
same way when
of
you're
course.
fishing. It's like, this is how I'm going to present my fly. This is a drag-free drift. This is this. You have to do it all perfect. And sometimes I'll feel like I really know a fish and I know how it's going to behave, and I'll go out and they'll be there, and then I'll go back to the same spot 3 weeks later, and that 3 weeks will have changed everything.
Sure.
And that's when you'll see me get a little frustrated, where it's like, come on, guys, like, we got a good relationship.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Imagine you got
We've
a
been
friend.
chatting,
Your best fucking friend.
Yeah.
You're there for them when they're having a hard time. They're there for you when you're having your time. And then one day, they just act entirely different. You're like, what's your fucking problem, man? We're friends. We have a history.
thought we were tight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're tight, And I get that sometimes from fish, particularly from gar, which is so stupid to choose that fish for that, because they are the most barometric pressure-based fish, because they breathe oxygen.
They are, actually.
Yeah, there's days where they do not surface. And then there's days where they breathe on the surface every 5 minutes. They have such odd, angry behavior. They're mean, they're crotchety, and other days they're like little kittens and they're afraid of everything. Like, they're so picky. And so for me to pick that fish to be like, that's my boy.
Yeah.
It's like picking a meth head and being like, this is my person you contact if I'm in the hospital. It's picking someone who's got erratic behavior and expecting them to be reliable. And I know that that's silly, and I hate that I get emotionally invested in them. But I also I do want you to see their good side.
Yeah.
And so I feel it's the same thing where you're
showed
like,
that today.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you show up with your homie at the party and you're like, yo, this is my boy. He's awesome. And everyone else is like, he sucks.
Yeah.
And sometimes maybe you can't see that he sucks, or they can't see that he's awesome. And I feel that fish is like the juggalo of fish. It's like he's just going to make
really
it.
able.
Yeah. He's going to make it as hard as possible for you to show people how great he is.
We talked about one thing today that has fueled me in the past couple of weeks, months, however long it's been since I tried to chase my dream, and that's being open to things. That's being open to opportunity, open to people, open to your community, open to just anything. And I want to talk about something that I believe. My dad has always told me this one saying. I'd rather be lucky than good.
Yeah, I say that all the time. It's
because my dad, I grew up in the Miami Sport Fishing Club, and it was because of him. He would win these tournaments, these plug-only tournaments for snook.
Yeah.
And they would just call him lucky, lucky, lucky. and he also drove stock cars when he was younger than that. And he won, I just found out, like 34 races at Hialeah Speedway in Miami. And he's in the Hall of Fame now of Hialeah Speedway. And he used to get people that would come to his trailer and try to fight him because they'd call him lucky.
Yeah.
They'd say he's just lucky. Like,
Rather be lucky than good. Any
rather
day.
be lucky than good. Like, obviously we're being a bit passive aggressive in that statement, but
I don't think so. I don't think it's passive aggressive. I think it is nonchalant. I think it's non-possessive. I don't like passive aggression. I like passiveness, I like aggressiveness, but I don't like a hybrid. And I feel like saying I'd rather be lucky than good is a humble kind of way to say, yeah, I don't know all the answers, I just happen to be in the right place. And that happens with fishing, like particularly fishing.
Yeah.
It's like, but anything, fucking anything can be blessed by luck. I have a lucky life because I've been in the right place. And ultimately it's worked out for me. While I do have a say in my life, I don't constantly control what place I'm in.
sure.
We moved to Russellville because my wife's dad is sick and we wanted to be close to him for that. And so we randomly just dropped everything and came here. I was not happy about that.
Sure.
I didn't want to live in Russellville. It's a small city. I didn't have a good skate park. I didn't have any of the shit that I liked. And now that I have quit trying to hold the reins and I can just be here, it's like, man, it's very affordable to live here. I can get another skate park built. There's great fishing right in town. There's enough restaurants to eat somewhere new. There's people I haven't met every day. You know, like, I quit trying to make it what I wanted it to be and started enjoying it for what it is. And it's been lucky.
Well, I think that's part of the you're open to things, right?
You have
like,
to be.
It might have sucked for you to move here, but you knew that there was a reason for it.
Yeah, and
a
it didn't.
Positive reason. Or not
yeah,
suck, sorry.
I ain't bashing it.
Yeah.
Russellville rules.
But like the original intention was you were coming here to a place that was smaller. It was not necessarily the answer to what you wanted in the immediate.
Yeah.
But you were open to understanding, like, yeah, the skate park sucks, and we talked about this a little already. You fucking took action.
Yeah, you gotta, well, that's the aspect of like looking at luck, calling it rather be lucky than good. It's like, well, what are you willing to call luck? Your dad caught those fish, but he did make that cast.
Exactly.
So it's like, yeah, he was lucky, but he did cast. There's still effort. And I've been better now about viewing my situation in life as half full rather than half empty. Like, I pay for this little tattoo shop what I would pay for a year here. I pay what I pay for a month in New York. And it's
no
like,
question.
I'm thankful for that. I don't have to bust my clients' heads over that. I've just been better lately about trying to be more of a glass half full guy. And it sounds like your dad's on the same page. I'm trying to do that more. I'm just trying to be better as a person, and it's been very helpful for me to be here. It's been good. I'm very, yeah. When I say easy street, it wasn't. You still got to go through all the work when you're moving to a situation like that. And who knows how this is going to affect me down the road. Like, maybe I should be preparing more for my future. Maybe I should be saving more money. Maybe I should be investing in a Roth IRA more or whatever. And instead, I'm just being a fucking dildo catching gar in Russellville. But
But you're living in the now, and it sounds like you're fucking enjoying it.
I'm happy. And
Yeah.
I've gone through a few little struggles. Like when I tore my UCL a few years ago, my elbow, I couldn't tattoo for a few months. And like, it didn't put me out of commission.
Sure.
You know, luckily I have such a good support group that I could make a living selling art I'd already made on the internet. I never had to ask anyone. I never had to do a GoFundMe or any of that. I just like was able to succeed and survive. And I feel fucking lucky. More importantly though, it's like me being lucky involves me having a very good community around me.
Sure.
And for anyone in any aspect of the world, no matter what their hobby, passion, where they live, anything, investing in your community around you will make you lucky. And Yeah, I lean into that really hard.
There's a lot to be said about that, because there's never a time where you're going to be able to chase your dream or your passion and quit doing something that pays you and expect that you can do it on your own.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to do this if Drew watches this and Kyle watches this.
Yeah. You got to have your community.
It's literally not going to happen. There's no one that's going to pay me to do this shit.
Well, if Drew and Kyle watched it a lot.
I mean, maybe. Like a couple of different TVs, a couple of different phones.
Non-stop.
Yeah.
You can get some internet, YouTube revenue or something, but yeah, I get it. Your community feeds you. I tell people that all the time. Anytime anyone asks me for any success tips, which I'm not the best guy to ask for that because I'm always just on the verge of leaving this planet, but I always say, like, just feed your community, gas up those people around you. Like for me here, it's tricky because there's not a lot of like-minded people here. There's not a lot of people in my realm. I have my wife, I have my wife's family, I've got my little skate park project, and I just lean into that. And
dude,
then,
you're good people. Everything that I have,
I gave you some booze, and now you're just being sweet to me.
Bullshit. Like everything we have talked about, we have agreed on to an extent.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot that we haven't agreed on. Like I'd probably tell you if I didn't, and maybe I'd kick you out of my truck. I do have an ejects button in my truck that you didn't know about.
Didn't say the wrong thing.
Yeah, but like, you're a kind-hearted person. You are aware of your flaws. You understand the things you've done wrong, and you're trying to do better by them, right? To an extent.
To an extent, yeah. Being aware of your flaws is an easy thing. For a lot of my flaws, some of them not so much. You know, I'm trying to do better, but like, luckily, I lost my hair when I was like 23.
Dude, I'm like right there.
And so you start losing your hair at 23, you'll become aware of your flaws very quick.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I want to be positive all the time. There's no point in being overly negative. It's hard right now.
Yeah.
It's a fucking hard time to be positive because you have to choose to do it. It's like choosing to do anything else. It's like choosing to go to the gym sometimes.
Sure.
Everyone who has ever gone to the gym regularly knows that there's days that you just don't want to go. There's days that you would just rather sit on the couch. You got off work, you had a long day, you're fucking tired, you just want to eat some trashy food and relax, but you know that you have to go to the gym and you have to try. And it's hard, but once you get there, it's pretty easy.
I want to talk about one thing that I recently realized too that's very similar to that, where when I was in my 9-to-5, my most recent 9-to-5, every single fucking day, this pinned me down. Every day. I smoked as much fucking weed as I could.
Yeah.
I drank at least 3 to 4 beers every night, and I walked over to this restaurant that I have a really good relationship with, the owner and all of the bartenders there, and I drank multiple whiskeys every fucking night.
Yeah.
It pissed me the fuck off when I quit my job and I realized that I was fucking doing it because I hated my job.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get away from something.
Well, that's just escapism.
It is.
And that's what I'm talking about, where it's like, just like that, when I'm saying that comparison to going to the gym, is some days you get off work.
Comparison I'm making.
Yeah,
exactly.
some days you get off work, you've had a long day, you're feeling rough, and you don't want to, but you just have to choose to be positive. You have to choose to believe that there's decency and to try to go through it. And right now it's difficult. It's a weird time. I feel for a lot because I feel privileged, and not just because of my genetic makeup, but I feel privileged because of my position in life that probably, I mean, it doesn't happen to everyone else. And so I feel lucky to have that. And so rather than feeling entitled to it, I'm just trying to feel thankful for it and to be good to those around me.
That's literally a Instagram post I made yesterday because we talked about my emotional habits. I have felt incredibly privileged because so many people have reached out to me that are either younger or in tough situations and are questionable on how the fuck I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And I can tell you it's not without commitment, it's not without dedication, it's not without struggles.
And this is no discredit to you,
Yeah.
but also having a partner that really is
My
a support
wife is
system. Like,
probably the only reason that I was able to do this.
Yeah, when
I can
you-
tell you 100%.
when you have a partner, like not even like a financial support partner,
Sure.
but just a partner that elevates you. It doesn't have to be a lover or a fucking life partner. It could be just a friend, but having someone who's there to gas you up gives you so much freedom. I just, I'm not a religious man, and so many people, athletes, all that stuff, they want to praise God for their success. I don't. If he's there, I'm thankful for what he's given me, but if not, I can praise my wife because I could have never had the freedom to think the way that I do without her. And so having that partnership, just anything to help gas you up. No man is a pillar, like you have to have someone help you stand. And I have a community to help me for that. I have a great partnership for that. I got a good dog, and like,
Murph.
yeah, she's the best. I got another
Shout
dog
out, Murph.
that doesn't get the credit. Code
Wait,
Man. He don't get the
wait,
credit.
who?
Cody, you didn't even meet him.
Cody,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, he doesn't get the credit. But yeah, I feel like a support system's key. And anything, pursuing your dreams, pursuing like fishing for a living, for example, having a support system. So many people jump into this where they're like, I want to do YouTube videos. I'm going to be a social media influencer. I want to be a bass fisherman. I want to be a tournament fisherman. So many people jump into that, and you can throw money at it, but really having a support system is what makes you last. Now, I'm no success story when it comes to things like that. I'm just a success story when it comes to being a happy person. And I have that much. I can't share people how to be successful on the internet. I can't share people how to be successful as a bass fisherman or a tournament angler, but I can share with people how to be happy as a person, and it's to lean into those around you. The more weight you hold for them, the more weight they can hold for you also, and that's the mindset. It's that stupid chopsticks parable where it's like you feed the people around you.
So it's not something that can be taken lightly from my perspective. Like, I think we already talked about this. Like, you can't jump into something and expect you can do it solo. And I'm not talking about like building a brand solo.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you can do designs, you can create stickers, hats, things that make people excited, something that they want to represent them, they want to show to other people, but who's on the other end of that design?
Yeah.
It's your community.
My community does everything for me.
They are the ones paying you, they are the ones supporting you, and I think that is something that a lot of people take lightly, is that the people around you are literally more important than yourself.
You also got to think about it in the way that you consume, where it's like, all right, I'm going to allot myself 15 minutes while I'm taking a shit to look at the internet, you know, and what do I want to be digesting right now? Because there's, like, I'm just trying to squeeze poop out of my butt. Do I want to look at the negativity of the world, or do I just want to entertain myself for a few minutes?
Right.
And it's hard with social media now to filter that, because it's just coming at you from all angles.
Right.
All the time, and your heart is big enough for a village. So you just take your shit and look at some fun stuff. So that's what I'm trying to put out there, because if people didn't buy the art I make, I wouldn't be a full-time artist.
Right.
If people didn't want to share and like the little doodle shit I make, I wouldn't be a full-time artist. And so those are the people that I really think about when I do all the piddly shit I do.
So not only do you make art, you also make people laugh, you also
Stand-up comedian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you also like music, you also skate, you also support your community, not just in the way that they support you, but we talked about a skate park that you are now, I wouldn't say funding, but you have literally...
I'm just leading the project on it.
You have literally done the work.
Well, when I say leading the project, also that's a little discrediting, because I have such good partnerships between our mayor, Fred Teague, and then our grant writer, Kelly Dinkle, who is the #1 person on this, is our grant writer, Kelly, who will be the least credited person is Kelly, because she's the one who's really done all the paperwork, the hardest stuff. I don't want to gas me up too much, because thank you for saying nice things about me, but I don't have a plan most days. I mean, we planned to do this today, yesterday. We made this plan yesterday. That's how I plan my whole life.
Last night.
Yeah, it's very rare. Like, I'm going to Denver next week. I'm going to tattoo in Denver. I haven't tattooed on the road in a year. I will not post that I'm tattooing in Denver until I get there. Like, I don't do very well in advance. I'm not overly organized. I'm just kind of winging it. And through most of my little endeavors I'm doing now, like the skate park endeavor, I just have a good support team. And then, yeah, Kelly Dinkle, who is our grant writer, has done almost everything. And she'll give me my list of what I need to do. I do it and get back to her. And because of her and because of our sweet mayor, we'll build our little skate park. I have some effort in there for sure. I've put in a lot of work to it, but it's the team.
But it's, again, you giving back.
Yeah, the team is what matters.
So you're a skateboarder, you are a fisherman, you're an artist.
And I'm a husband.
And you're a husband?
Yeah, husband.
And you're a dog dad?
Well, I don't even call it skin daddy. You know how people call them fur babies?
Yeah.
Skin daddy.
You're an Airstream owner. You're a Arkansan.
Well, there's a lot I could put. You know, you see those Instagram bios that are like bacon connoisseur, beer nerd.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I could classify myself as. But ultimately, I'm just a guy who fishes and draws a lot. And
Scotch lover.
Yeah,
Scotch liker.
That's mostly because I'm trying to drink less. But I try not to be overly defiant. I'm just trying to fuck around on this planet until I die and not piss anyone off too bad who doesn't deserve it. And I think that's a pretty good goal. And if you're going to do things like quit your job and pursue, happiness, which I would encourage to anyone. And it's weird too, because we need people to work jobs.
Right.
I can't eat Chick-fil-A if there's not a Chick-fil-A employee.
Well, let me also tell you, this podcast is not about quitting your job. You also could start a tattoo shop that allows you to work only evenings so that you could fish every morning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I worked at a shop for years, for fucking ever, that wasn't owned by me, that was owned by someone else, where I had fixed hours. And I was happy to be there, and I cut my teeth there. And I probably should have stayed there longer. But I learned a lot. I mean, I worked in a tattoo shop for 15 years working for other people before I decided to branch out. And the only reason I branched out is because I was moving. I love my boss, I love the people I work with, and I miss them. But I felt like it was just that time. Ultimately, I would encourage anyone I could to pursue living their life a little harder and maybe a little less by the book, as far as like letting a corporate business, decide what they do. But we do need corporate employees. And I did that same thing. I put my time in.
Yeah.
It's not like I had wealthy parents that allowed me to do this from the time I was 18. I definitely worked a shitty job until I had enough money saved to work a okay job till I could make money, this has been a lot of steps to get to where I'm at now. And I don't own a home. I'm still a fuck up. I'm not I don't know, everybody's got it together in different spectrums. Sure. And my level of togetherness is good for me now. But if I could be I was saying earlier, when you asked me about some company, I don't do any influencer stuff with social media. But if I could influence anyone, I don't want to be a content creator. I want to be like a content creator. And I would just influence people to try to be happy and maybe unplug from a little bit of the bullshit that's happening right now.
It's funny.
So much bullshit.
Some company commented on a post the other day that I made and said, "Hey man, love your message, love your content, but I don't know what you're selling."
Yeah.
And honestly, it is the one comment that it's actually pissed me off and I'm trying not to let negativity affect me whatsoever, but it's the one thing that has pissed me off for the past 2 months, because what I'm selling personally is inspiration, is freedom. I want to inspire people to not just quit their 9 to 5. If you need a 9 to 5 to support your family, to support anything you want, like, fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like, but also chase happiness. Like, what I'm trying to get people to do is face the facts that happiness is a hell of a lot more important than your fucking bank account.
Yeah. Well, they're not wrong in saying that. Like when you are making something like this, for example, to encourage people to, I wouldn't say pursue happiness. I would say to pursue someone to find their freedom. Because every human is in a different pursuit of a different freedom. Some people are in pursuit of financial freedom. And then when they reach that, they might pursue a different type of freedom. Some people are in pursuit of sexual freedom, religious freedom, freedom from shame, freedom from their past, freedom from so many things. Everyone wants something like that. Literally every person alive.
Of course.
Every fucking person. Some people just want the freedom to sit on the fucking couch and watch Netflix without their wife asking them to vacuum. Like,
Simple.
people want an aspect of freedom in all things. So I might lean in maybe a little more into the pursuit of finding your freedom rather than the pursuit of happiness, because they're not the same thing, but they are often equated to the same. Someone saying, I like what you're doing, but I don't know what you're selling, is actually really strong, because it's not criticism, it's constructive. And it's not even constructive criticism, it's just a comment. I see why that would stick with you, because if someone sold that to me, someone said that to me, I would wear it pretty heavily.
Yeah, I mean, and I think maybe freedom is definitely something I want to get people to think about more, but I'd wager this one more is purpose. I think every single person, and I'm not a God-fearing person, I'm not a religious person, we've already talked about this. I believe in my heart and soul and mind, brain, so on and so forth, every single person can find their purpose in life. And for me, it's telling other people's stories. It's telling a story. It is creating things that people feel a part of. Like, that's what I want to do. And I've felt more purpose in that than I've ever felt in my life. Like, I think purpose is way more important than just freedom. Like, yes, freedom
It's the
comes
opposite.
from purpose.
For me, I think
Really?
of it, yeah, I don't think I have any purpose. There's a Robert Crumb, are you familiar with Robert Crumb, the artist? He used to draw this character called Mr. Natural. It's like kind of a wizard looking guy. The keep on trucking thing, you see like Grateful Dead, like that.
Right
Yeah. You see Mr. Natural
looking at it.
in the keep on trucking position.
Yeah.
And you see someone yelling over a fence, Mr. Natural, what does it all mean? And he's like, it don't mean shit. Like, that's what I think of, where it's like, I don't have to have purpose. There's a level, and this is no personal insult or anything, there's a level of vanity or ego that I don't possess when it comes to purpose.
Sure.
I don't need there to be more. I don't need to go to heaven.
Sure.
I don't need to live after I die. I don't need my life to be longer than however long it is, because I just don't feel anything divine in my purpose. I just find joy in the things that like fly fishing.
Yeah.
I find joy in fly fishing. I find joy in sharing my fly fishing experience. I don't have children of my own, so I don't get to share my experience or leave behind a legacy. I have to leave behind a legacy between giving it to people like you, where it's like, all right, we're gonna go do this, and you're gonna learn something, and next time you go fishing, you might think of me. You know, like, that's what I have. I don't think it's a purpose for me. I think it's just passing the time, but it does make me feel happy. I don't think there's by any means, any shame in people who need a purpose. Everybody also has different needs on this planet.
Of course.
Work in a tattoo shop long enough, you'll have a woman bring in an arrow, a single line arrow, one line, arrowhead, fletchings, you know? It's like fucking, 7 lines total to make this little dinky arrow. And she's gonna tell you, I'm getting this tattoo because when something in life is pulling you back, it's just gonna shoot you forward. And it's like her meaning for it. Then you have another woman come in later that day, and she gets the same fucking arrow that she found on Pinterest. I'm getting this tattoo because I need to have something pointing me as a compass or a direction in life, and you have to follow your direction. And then you have another lady come in the same day. And what it is our brains are cognition machines.
Of course.
It's why when you hear a song and you don't understand the lyrics, like pour some sugar on me, you hear it as pour some shook up ramen or whatever, like all those things where you hear a lyric wrong. There's a Say Anything song called Alive with the Glory of Love. And they have a lyric in it that says, our Treblinka is alive with the glory of love, talking about an internment camp. It's a song written from like the point of view of someone who's in an internment camp. I heard that song for 10 years thinking it said, our troubling kind is alive with the glory of love. That lyric meant something to me when I was a kid because I thought it was important that we're going through these struggles. It's this troubling kind. It's not even the right words. Our brains are cognition machines, and we're going to try to look for patterns and make sense and find meaning in every fucking thing around us. And ultimately, you can just go into a tattoo shop and be like, hey, I want an arrow. Well, why? Because I like it.
Yeah.
Good enough for me.
I'll put it on.
Good enough for you. You're going to get just as good of a tattoo. You don't have to find this deep-seated purpose. You could just do things that bring you joy. Like sometimes people wake up in the morning and they don't have shit to do, so they drink a cup of coffee and jerk off on the couch. And that's good for them. It's a good morning. The same person could have woke up at fucking 6 a.m. and gone fishing. They might have had the same amount of nut. You know, it's like, it's just, you're literally just here for this limited amount of time trying to be happy while you can. And I don't think there's any point in making it more than it is. I have no beef with people who need religion. I have no beef with people who need to find a greater purpose. And I have no beef with you for saying it.
I assume so.
But ultimately, I don't think there needs to be a purpose. I think it's okay to just be. That's a hard thing, and that is a real freedom in itself when you allow yourself.
It's a freedom, right?
Yeah, well, to not need the reins, to not need more. I think it is a freedom when you can allow yourself to just be and be like, you know, I think, it's so funny to think of this. The silliest thing to think of when you're trying to think of purpose. Bobby Hill from King of the Hill.
Fantastic kid.
Bobby Hill has no purpose. He just exists in the world, and every day he follows his intuition to try to be happy. He wants to be a good friend to Joseph. He wants to be a boyfriend to Connie, but ultimately Bobby Hill is never thinking forward.
Sure.
In the reboot they did of King of the Hill, he's like a chef. He cares about his food. He cares about this. But ultimately, even watching that, you see there, it's like he's just a dude, just alive, just trying to make sense of it. I worked at Walmart Neighborhood Market in Sherwood, Arkansas. I developed pictures in the photo lab, and I stocked produce when I was 17 into 18. I spent 2 years working for Walmart. Everyone should work for a corporate business for 2 years of their life. I believe that. I think everyone should do their time.
I'm down with that.
That way they treat servers better, they treat service industry people better. You should all do your part. I worked there, and in my head I always was like, I'm gonna work up the ladder, I'll be a customer service manager, a CSM, and then I'm gonna do this, and eventually maybe I can manage a store, and maybe I can make store manager money or whatever, because you just constantly feel the pressure to look down the road and have a plan. I draw fish for a living. I thought I was gonna be a customer service manager at Walmart. There's no fucking point. You just doing things until you get somewhere. It's like you're going somewhere that you don't know directions or where you're going. You're just driving down roads till you end up where you're at. There's no point in trying to make it grander. You should just enjoy it. Be nice to the people around you. That's what I think.
I feel like that's the...
Here we are reflecting on life.
It is the lowest level of how to live life. And I love that perspective. My only qualm with it is that we all have to make money somehow.
No, you do.
And if we can find a purpose in how we make a living...
It's lucky when you have that.
Right. If you can be so lucky to understand that my purpose is to inspire people to want to fish more through... I don't know, a message, whether it's social media messages or whether it's through beautiful fucking art that people wear and they pick it up and they say, oh shit. I saw this poem that Drooler wrote, and it made me wake up today and want to go fishing instead.
You want to make things that resonate with people. I do understand that.
Not make things that resonate with people, but also make things that make you feel full too.
I do get a fuller cup off some of the things I do, absolutely. I just feel like it doesn't have to be special all the time.
You're right.
And like posting things on the internet, trying to make things to inspire people, you can't always be inspiring.
Sure.
Because sometimes you have to be. And I don't know, Jesus himself, like every fitness influencer, every fucking millionaire, every billionaire, everyone you see on the internet, the president, especially the president.
Oh boy.
They all get fucking diarrhea.
Right.
Sometimes. Everybody in the world gets a faucet fanny. They get a spigot sphincter. Every motivational speaker shits their pants sometimes. And so the idea of being like this, it being grandiose, I feel like it's good to try to gas up your community. It's good to inspire those around you. But it's also good to understand where you're coming from is not always a place of nobility. Sometimes it's just a place where you're at.
Right.
And I think that's a totally okay thing to do. And I do get a very full cup from the community around me. That's what gives me a reason. My lady, my mom needs her son to be a good son for sure. And then the people around me. And those are the things that keep me motivated on this planet. Otherwise, I would probably already be gone. But I feel driven to an extent, and then you got to pass the time. You got to pass the time somehow, so I pass it.
In an enjoyable way, hopefully?
Yeah, and I mean, you want to enjoy it. There's no point in being here if you're going to be miserable the whole time. There's so many people who are hanging on and they're miserable, and they're living miserable lives in dead-end marriages and dead-end jobs, and I get the appeal of finding the pursuit of your freedom. A lot of those people haven't recognized what freedom they want.
Sure.
And I'm not knocking them. I would really, honestly, I would love to facilitate helping in any way. And what I enjoy isn't right for them. There's some people who say tomato, and there's some people who put tomatoes up their asshole. It's like there's a very broad spectrum.
Yeah.
It's just not how we look at it differently. There's just so many different flavors of humans.
And I would hope that that's what this could bring to people, is a different perspective, is a different understanding that there's different routes. Like I could take, I-95 all the way from Florida to Richmond, Virginia, where I originally lived, but could also take the back roads.
Yeah, I really honestly, you said that thing, that company reached out to you and said, I like what you're saying, I just don't know what you're selling. And I feel it when I'm talking about things that are philosophical, where I'm like, yeah, I'm not really selling anything. I'm just saying some stuff that I like. That's okay. I don't have to be selling anything.
It's also okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't have to be selling anything. You get sold shit every fucking chance you look. I literally am seeing a sign for a building right here that says Wellness Fitness Yoga. Here's First Security Bank. I'm constantly being advertised to. I don't have a sign for my store. I take a lot of pride in that because I'm not really trying to sell these people anything. I'm trying to sell those people something because I really have to pay my bills.
That's what pissed me off the most, or has made me think the most, is because I am a marketer by trade for the past 12 years, and I've taken it from a psychological perspective versus just this surface value of here's the $25 off your t-shirt or hat perspective. And I want people to feel something.
Yeah.
We talked about branding in the truck earlier. I want people to remember this podcast and remember what you told people and not remember the current, not remember me. Like, I want them to remember something that you recommended, because that's branding at the end of the day. I want them to feel something.
Well, when the people are watching this and they're remembering this, they'll remember that podcast where Drooler didn't eat any food all day and started drinking that Scotch whiskey.
All right, last question. Anyone that wants to fish for a living, they want to have the freedom to fish whenever they please, Like both of us at this point,
Yeah.
it seems like we can choose when we want to fish. Obviously, there are some stipulations around that. It's a recommendation you would give to them.
Oh man, if I could gas anyone up, if I could tell anyone like a path to walk as far as trying to find a way to be less corporate and to be a little more individual, working in fishing, working in anything, God, this is actually hard. It's a hard question to give someone one piece of advice. I can't tell you the path that I've taken for success in one word, but I can tell you the way I've watched a lot of people fail. The people around you and the people that support you don't owe you that, and they are not stepping stones. And those people that are around you and support you will be with you to the end if you take them with you. So Josh Hood, which is a name I use all the time when I talk, literally any fucking person that talks to me about being successful or why do I still pack my own orders. I've shipped over 4,000 orders this year. By the end of the year, because Christmas season's coming, I'll ship 10,000 orders this year. I'll touch every single one of them. I'll read every single name. I'll pack them all myself. And I always, when people ask me, why do you still do that? Why do you do this? I always bring up this one guy. I always say Josh Hood. So shout out to Josh Hood. He's a client of mine. He's been getting tattooed by me for over 10 years. He's bought a lot of what I make. He doesn't fish that much. He really doesn't fish that much. For a guy who owns so much fly fishing art and fly fishing products, he's really not a fly fisherman. Like, his identity is not in that. He's just a supportive person.
Yeah.
And I know every time that he buys anything from me, because I pack it myself. And if you can find 100 Josh Hoods, you will have the best fucking life. And you will not find them if you're treating the people around you like they are your customers. You will find that if you treat them like they're your friends. It's very important. So if I was to give any piece of advice to anyone, is treat these people like they are fucking dying and like they are made of gold, because they are. And that is very important. Treat your customers like they're your best friends. Have some fucking integrity. Stand by your product and stand by your people. Don't get bullied by customers. Just treat them like they're you. Treat them with the standard you would treat yourself. And if you do that, you will be successful. I cannot imagine a single business that would fail that treated their customers like they were their best friends. You have a bar that you go to, you love your bartender that you know, and they call you by name and they know what you order. That's your bar because you're the local there. You feel seen there. You go to any place, literally any business. I go to Mexican restaurants in town. I got 3 different Mexican restaurants I go to.
What did we pass by earlier? Jose's?
We went by Jose's. Not the same. That's an American place owned by a Mexican guy. But there's Mexican restaurants in town, and when I go into them, they know me. And it makes me love going there because I feel seen. And so if you were going to succeed in selling anything or succeed in pursuing independence in life, trying to chase your dreams, if you have a consumer that buys your product, whether it be an actual product or your content or whatever the fuck you make, just treat those people like they're your best friends. And soon they will be your best friends. That's a really cool thing that I've learned, is I'll have people come here to get tattooed and I'll take them fishing, or we'll do whatever, we'll go have beers. And the next thing you know, I'm hanging out with them. And they're not here to get tattooed. When I went to fish that tournament in Pennsylvania, that tournament, I fished with 2 people on my boat. I fished with David Bowers and sweet Gabe, Principal Gabe. So he commented on a reel I made looking for a Fishing for Tattoos contestant, and he flew here to fish with me. And that's how I met him. And David flew here to get tattooed. I picked both these guys up at the airport because I'll drive 70 miles to the airport to pick up my tattoo clients. It's 300 miles from here, there, here, back after I tattoo them. 300 miles. I never charge people shit for it because it gives me more time with them and I want to show appreciation. But both those guys I met at the Little Rock airport, picking them up. And I flew to Pennsylvania to fish a smallmouth tournament with them. And it's because I treated my clients like they were my best friends. And now those are my boys.
They're literally your best friends.
It's cool when you do that. And if I could give, one piece of advice to anyone, it's treat these people like they're made of fucking gold. Because gold is currency. It's the #1 base for all of our currency. why would you not treat them like they're made of gold? Yep. Gold is also precious. You own, this is the only gold I wear, this, and I have a tragus ring in, but like my wedding ring is one of the most important things I own. And so it's, yeah, you get it. And it's like treating those people around you like they are both financially viable, treating them like they're precious, like they're special, and then treating them like there's something that belongs to you that you really care about, that you're going to put on a shelf. You're going to make sure it's tucked with care. I don't take my I literally brought my fly rods in here because I didn't want them to be on the boat out there where they might get damaged, because those are made of gold to me. And so it's like, that's the advice I would give. If anyone was going to pursue life with a little more freedom, it's find your base and then treat them like they're fucking great.
I love that, man.
They will be great to you. If you treat those people right, they will be great to you. I have countless friends. I mean, I'm sitting here with you through social media. I have countless friends who I have made through treating them like they were already good. And to the people who have fallen through the cracks, because undoubtedly someone's going to watch this who I have not answered a message from, and undoubtedly someone's going to watch this who I've dropped the ball in our conversation. I'm sorry, I don't mean to do that. I do get overwhelmed. I do have days where I get literally 500 to 800 messages on Instagram. Some days, not always, but I have a really hard time keeping up with it. But I would love for those people to come fish with me, and I'm sorry if I haven't done better. I promise I'm trying.
And I can vouch you're gonna have a damn good time.
And you haven't seen me on my phone today, have you?
Not at all.
Check that out. Yeah, you go with a dude who fucking gets that many messages a day, and he ain't ever on his phone, because I'm trying to be in the moment.
We had a damn good day. We got to experience something. I got to experience something incredibly different.
Yeah,
I got to take you on my boat.
Yeah.
I got to fish a place that I've always wanted to fish, and I got to meet a dude that's awesome.
Where's a lot of blue?
Drew, you're a badass guy. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks for coming and hanging with me.
It was cool to get a little emotional with you.
Thanks for seeing
talk some deep shit.
Yeah, thanks for seeing my home water.
It was
too.
fun, man.
I would rather probably show people my home water than talk to them about my political views or my feelings. But
You'd rather do that?
I'm trying to be more dynamic.